Oklahoma City, a sprawling metropolis where asphalt stretches for miles and the wind whispers tales of horsepower and speed. This is the breeding ground for legends, and this is where our story begins. With a young Jeff Bonnett, a kid with a head full of dreams and a heart set on the open road. Fans of Street Outlaws must have become familiar with seeing Jeff, aka AZN, side by side with Farm Truck. Some have even described him as Farm Truck's sidekick. Outside the bond that exists between the two and their love for life on the tracks, AZN has a pretty distinguishable quality and has had his ups and downs while on the show. Let's take a peek. Jeff Bonnett, better known as AZN, has become a household name amongst Street Outlaws fans, mostly due to his lovable personality and sense of humour. But the journey to becoming a street racing icon wasn't paved with trophies and victories. It was a road filled with twists and turns, triumphs and tragedies that shaped him into the man, the racer, the entertainer we know today. Jeff was born on August 3, 1981, in the racing town of Oklahoma, into the family of Dennis and Matsu Bonnett. Being born in such a place where racing was held dear by many was a major push for Jeff, but he got his breakthrough later on when he met someone who has remained his mentor to this day. Jeff's passion for cars can be traced back to a deep connection he had with his father, Dennis, a Vietnam War veteran. Dennis instilled in Jeff a love for tinkering and a respect for the raw power harnessed beneath the hood. As much as Dennis played a huge role in nurturing Jeff by teaching him how to drive in the first place, Jeff agrees that his current knowledge and love for the thrill of racing came later on from Farm Truck, who had taken him under his wings and remains a strong ally to this day. The two have been inseparable since. Jeff started to hone his career in racing. Jeff's relationship with Farm Truck notwithstanding, Jeff still owes his first ride to his father, Dennis. Their prized possession was a beat-up 1964 Chevy Nova, which was purchased for the price of $2,800 on a loan from his father. The car came when Jeff was still in high school and had no job to pay for it. According to an interview granted by Jeff, his father offered to be his bank and lent him the money on the condition that he would pay back every penny. This was a term that Jeff agreed with and had to get creative about earning a living. He had to reach out to neighbours whom he offered to paint their house numbers on the curbs so that it could be easier for emergency responders to find their homes in case of a fire. Together, Jeff and his father built a formidable force as they poured their hearts and weekends into restoring it, transforming the Chevy from a junkyard relic into a symbol of their shared passion. Dennis became Jeff's first mentor, teaching him the fundamentals of mechanics and the thrill of getting his hands dirty. Just like that, Jeff's interest in street racing grew and pushed him to want more and make the best out of his newly found hobby. It wasn't long before he found what he was searching for in the racing tracks of Oklahoma, embracing the unpredictable terrain as he raced against some of the most seasoned racers in the area. And that was when he met Sean Whitley, aka Farm Truck. Jeff Bonnett, known as AZN, embarked on his racing journey in his teenage years, fueled by a passion for speed and adrenaline. His first foray into racing was marked by his acquisition of the Chevy Nova, and later on, a 1970 Volkswagen Beetle, affectionately dubbed the Dung Beetle. This quirky choice of vehicles showcased AZN's unconventional approach to racing and set the stage for his unique presence in the street racing scene. Speaking of an unconventional approach to racing, AZN's path intersected with that of Sean Whitley, better known as Farm Truck, a fellow racer based in Oklahoma City. The duo met through their shared love of racing, bonding over their mutual respect for the sport and their distinctive personalities. The friendship started even before Street Outlaws, on the streets of Oklahoma. Jeff just started racing and dared to face some of the best in the game, which had Farm Truck in it. With Farm Truck's experience, Jeff didn't stand a chance, but something about Jeff made the two come together and have joined forces ever since. No one was sure what had strengthened the bond, but some believed that Jeff was in need of a father figure in his life. Turns out, Jeff had it a little rough growing up. His mother had passed from cancer when he was just a teenager, which was a major hit for him and the family. And as if that wasn't enough, in 2001, tragedy struck again when Dennis succumbed to a heart condition. So, along with his sister Brenda, Jeff became orphaned. This event left a gaping hole in Jeff's life, but Jeff was never one to succumb to unfortunate events in his life. His dreams and aspirations seemed to have the upper hand. The loss of his father and mentor became a turning point, pushing him deeper into the world of street racing, perhaps as a way to connect with his father's memory, ultimately leading him up to Farm Truck's iconic vehicle, a 1970 Chevrolet C10 pickup truck that became synonymous with their partnership and solidified their status as a dynamic duo in the street racing community. As AZN and Farm Truck continued to hone their racing skills and build their reputation within the Oklahoma City street racing scene, they caught the attention of television producers. Their distinctive vehicles, camaraderie, and captivating personalities made them ideal candidates for the emerging reality TV show Street Outlaws. So, in 2013, AZN and Farm Truck made their debut on Street Outlaws, being among the 405 crew members that formed the show. Over the years, the duo has been captivating audiences with their down-to-earth demeanour, humour, and formidable racing prowess. The show provided a platform for them to showcase their talents to a wider audience, catapulting them to fame within the street racing community and beyond. AZN's transition into Street Outlaws marked a significant milestone in his racing career, elevating him to the status of a household name among fans of the show. His infectious energy, comedic flair, and undeniable skill behind the wheel endeared him to viewers, ensuring his enduring popularity as a key figure in the world of street racing entertainment. The Oklahoma City streets became Jeff's proving ground. He spent his nights honing his skills, pushing the limits of his car and himself. This is where he earned the nickname AZN, a playful jab at his mixed Asian and Caucasian heritage. However, the early days of street racing weren't all sunshine and checkered flags. There were countless losses and heart-wrenching defeats that tested his resolve. But Jeff, fueled by his father's memory and an unwavering determination, kept pushing forward. But there's something everyone is supposed to take note of about the relationship between Farm Truck and AZN. They both kind of adopted an unconventional racing style. While many other racers on the show are in serious competition on who would come out on the top, these two have totally different plans. They just appeared to be having fun with their builds, focusing on cars that were suitable for both daily usage and were also fast. The problem is, other racers who had their eyes on the prizes were ready to trade every other thing for not just fast cars, but super fast ones, because that's just what will earn you a place on the tracks of Street Outlaws. But Jeff was more interested in more iconic builds, like the 1970 Volkswagen Beetle that people have come to know him with. However, Jeff Bonnett's 1970 Volkswagen Beetle, also known as the Dung Beetle, holds a special place in the hearts of both him and fans of Street Outlaws. This unconventional choice of vehicles showcased AZN's distinctive style and his willingness to think outside the box in the world of street racing, giving it meaning beyond the constant tension that is normally associated with racing. The Dung Beetle was far from your typical racing car and was definitely not as fast. Unlike the high-performance muscle cars often associated with street racing, the Beetle was a compact, rear-engine vehicle, known more for its quirky charm than its speed, and could also fit for daily usage. For Jeff, there are videos of Jeff and Sean having fun while they are painting the vehicle. So much love was put into making the vehicle, not minding the rusty paint effect that was done on it. However, make no mistake, under AZN's guidance, the Dung Beetle underwent significant modifications to enhance its performance on the track, so as much as it was much heavier when compared to other lightweight vehicles you find on Street Outlaws, it would still beat a regular car to the chase. AZN's modifications to the Dung Beetle included upgrades to its engine, suspension, and overall performance capabilities. Despite its unassuming appearance, the Beetle proved to be a formidable competitor on the streets, surprising opponents with its speed and agility. But it couldn't exactly win races for Jeff. This became a problem for him later on. What truly set the Dung Beetle apart, however, was its unmistakable personality. Covered in a distinctive brown and green paint, the Beetle became a beloved symbol of AZN's racing career and a fan favourite on Street Outlaws. On the tracks, however, other racers weren't so keen on competing with Jeff. It was almost always certain that it would be a loss for Jeff after each run. So the natural spirit of drag racing that survived the thrill and adrenaline rush, uncertain of what the outcome would be, was watered down. Consequently, the show producers started excluding Jeff Bonnett from the show.
For AZN, however, his love for the sport never faded. He remained dedicated to the racing community, always finding new ways to contribute and inspire others. He went to great lengths to promote the sport, leveraging his social media presence to connect with fans and share his passion for street racing. It was at this juncture that AZN's career took a positive turn. His unique racing approach and charismatic personality captured the attention of Discovery Channel executives. In 2013, AZN and Farm Truck debuted on the popular reality TV show Street Outlaws. They quickly became fan favorites, known for their humor, camaraderie, and fearless racing style. The show provided AZN with a platform to showcase his racing skills and larger-than-life personality, catapulting him to fame and establishing him as a prominent figure in the street racing entertainment world. As AZN's popularity grew, so did his influence within the street racing community. He became a role model for aspiring racers and a spokesperson for the sport, advocating for safe and responsible racing practices. He continued to push the boundaries of what was possible on the track, constantly striving to improve his skills and push the limits of his car. However, AZN's journey was not without its challenges. The 1970 Volkswagen Beetle, famously known as the Dung Beetle, got its name from the lengthy process it took AZN to finalize the purchase. For over 2 months, it was uncertain whether he was serious about buying the vehicle or not. When Jeff finally declared to his friend that the purchase would become a reality, it marked a significant milestone. Jeff's races against many competitors on the show required a great deal of effort and determination.